Hey guys, and welcome to another project vlog. So I'm super excited about this, and I know that I say that about every project that I start, but today we're actually doing some crochet. I have not crocheted, I feel like, for the longest time. Like, I sometimes do like little bits and bobs, but nothing like a full garment. I crocheted for literally years before I could knit. Crochet was my first love, but as I feel like a lot of people that, you know, the crochet to knit pipeline, I feel like knit garments do tend to look a lot more polished, and just, I don't know, I could achieve the looks I wanted more through knit. But there are some applications of crochet that I absolutely love. Firstly, I love like a lacy stitch, and also I love like a linen moss stitch specifically. So that is what we're going to be doing today. I am also trying to work through my stash. I have quite a big yarn stash, and generally I have yarn in project quantities. Even if I don't have a exact thing in mind, I don't really buy yarn without a garment plan of some description. So normally it's like solid colors. I'll have like a certain amount of one yarn. However, I have a lot of DK weight balls of different color yarns. Now these aren't so much scraps. Some of them are, not all of them. I did like a collab with Hobby, when was it now? Like last year. And in exchange for that, I basically got gifted a load of the Friends wool, which is a DK weight. I can show you one ball with the label still on, because honestly most of these don't, so I don't know exact colors, but this is what they look like. They're a DK weight yarn. It's actually super nice, I would say, this yarn, for the price and the color range. So well worth it in my opinion. But let me show you this bag. Now this does have some extras. This does have some, as you can see, some leftover drops flora. I've got some leftover again, like random fingering weight like sock yarns that I probably am less likely to use as actual socks, and then just a whole load of all of these different color. They're pretty much whole balls, but some of them only have like one ball of one color, so they're not really enough to do anything with in like solid colors. And I have been thinking for ages that I wanted to combine these into one big project. I had originally planned for this to be a striped jumper. There was a really specific picture I found on Pinterest of these like quite big but like random width stripes, which I loved for so long, and that was my intention. But I have been craving some crochet, and I whipped up this gauge swatch last night, and I really loved the way it looks. And I had this project in mind for a different yarn, but I don't think that that's going to be suitable, so I'm basically switching the ideas for the different yarns. So let me show you anyway. This is the swatch. It's still obviously on the board, so I don't really know how well I'm gonna be able to hold this up, but I mean, you can see this is a moss stitch or linen stitch. I guess it's like interchangeable, which is, it's so easy to do. It is literally single crochet, chain one, and then on the next row you chain one, single crochet. So it's a really simple stitch, but I feel like it just has, it's one of them things that's like easy but looks way more complex, in my opinion anyway. I think that it's, I don't know, it's just super interesting to look at. I love all the different options, and I love that it's not like an exact stripe, because obviously the rows kind of dip down into each other. So I feel like in a way it almost looks more cohesive, even though it's absolutely random, because the rows kind of like bleed up and down into each other. So I'm really excited as well, because this garment is not like anything that I have made before, but it is something that I would wear in my normal wardrobe. So I think it's going to be really fun to do this in crochet and have a handmade version. So I just pulled this out of my wardrobe because it's probably the best version of this item that I have to show you. I want to make a zip up with this stitch and this yarn. So I want it to be quite similar to this. I want it to have the high collar, not a zip up hoodie, just the zip up. Again, quite oversized. I like how these kind of sleeves and the body fits, and I do want it to be more cropped. So if I stand up, this is a little bit longer. I think I want it to be, because I like to fold this one around, so I guess like this with rib at the bottom. And what I also want to do is for the collar, the cuffs, the hem, and also for the button, I don't even know what you would call them, they're not, it's not a button band, the zip, it's not even a zip guard, is it? Just like the edging around the zip, I want to do a knit. So the main body is going to be crochet and then knit all the finishes. I don't know exactly what zip I'm going to go for yet, but the other thing I want to do is I want all of the rib to be like solid colour. So basically the main body is going to have all the texture, and then, you know, we're going to be a bit more basic for all of the edges. So that is my plan. So today what I need to do is I need to plan out the size. I'm gonna probably use this as a template because truthfully I am really happy with the fit of this. The sleeves do that thing where they're like long enough to kind of bunch up really nicely. I think I honestly might go a bit wider on the wrist, because the one thing that worries me more with crochet is that it is a lot more rigid than knit, and so I'm worried that this is gonna be like, I don't know, a very kind of this way, like triangular inclined sleeve, which I don't really want. So thinking maybe the sleeves would be a bit wider, cinch it in with the cuff rather than having a load of decreases. But I think that's only going to be something that I can figure out through trial and error. And I'm not sure on pockets. Obviously this has slanted pockets. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know, that could be really fun. See, the problem with adding pockets like this is that you can't really do it cropped as such, because the pocket bags are gonna hang too low on the inside. So I'm thinking maybe we won't do pockets, but I think it's gonna be really fun either way. So I'm gonna take this off and measure this up. And honestly, this is a hack if you want to self-draft things and you're not super confident on measurements, is take like an existing garment that you own. It could be like absolutely anything, absolutely any fabric, and you can basically measure it up and make yourself a template. So that is what I'm going to do. I do have a couple of spreadsheets already of things that I have graded in the past that I know I already like the sizes of, so I think I'm probably going to just like do a mixture of this crossed with those, because I already have like the formula of things that I like to wear. So anyway, let's not keep going, let's just get on, and I really can't wait to get started because this is just so enjoyable to actually crochet as well. So let's get measuring. So I've made a little bit of progress since I last updated you. I have basically been trying to figure out how to do essentially the same as like short rows in the back neck that you would get on knitwear, and it's actually worked out pretty well if I do say so myself. So I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep alternating the colours. I'm not going to do it like a repeat. I'm just going to do it like literally completely random. But this is how it's looking. I feel like I get worried when things like this look too blocky, like this is too light, but I think once it's all together, it's not even going to notice, because I felt like that with the swatch. I was like really picky on exactly like what colours I was picking next, but I just think it is better to honestly just let it be completely random. So yeah, this is kind of where I'm at. And I've also been trapping all of my ends. That is the one good thing as well with crochet, is you can just literally like scrappy things like this, you just crochet over the end, and you're like, you don't even have to weave them in. If this was a knit, you'd have so many bits to weave in. So I'm gonna keep going, and I think it's looking super cool. It is pretty like, I think it's gonna be quite rigid. It's definitely gonna be more of like an outer piece, I would say. I'm so sorry about this lighting. We're gonna have to deal with. This is too big. So this is how the back is looking, and I think just it's come out a little bit bigger than what my gauge swatch was, and essentially I need this to be shorter by about 2 inches, which like doesn't seem like that much, but I do think that I should go back and fix it considering I'm not that far. So we're just going to start over on the short row section, and then once I get down to the part that's flat, I'm just gonna like reattach from this and like keep crocheting, because obviously it's going to be a bit shorter anyway. It basically works out to be about 10 stitches ish, so it's like this much, because I just looked in the mirror and I was like, oh, this is like a drop shoulder. But yeah, so basically that's the plan. I'm just going to redo this again a bit smaller, but I think it's looking really cool how it's coming out. And I'm just watching The Summer I Turned Pretty because I started watching this the other day and I'm like binge watching it. I'm obsessed. So we're gonna start this over again, and I will show you probably another day now how far we get. I also feel like I've learned a little bit about the colour placement that I like, and I'm not going to do these 3 colours close together again, which I think it would have been fine if I just left it, but if I have the option to change it, this is it up close. So yeah, I'm going to do this and we'll chat later. It's now the next morning, so let's have a little bit of a catch up. So I haven't gotten quite back to the point that I was on the first, like, I don't know, the first go of this, but the size is much better. I was worried when I started this again that this was still gonna be too big, but it's actually fine. See, one thing I love about crochet is you can just like take your hook out and like there's really, you're not going to lose any stitches, and also that it just lays flat straight away. It's so annoying when you're trying to make something stockinette and you can't really get an accurate like reading on like where your measurements and things are, because like everything's just curling up. So I will hold these next to each other. So yeah, you can see we're about 2 inches shorter, which probably doesn't seem like that much, but when you think this would have been 2 inches too long on the front and the back, and so it would have been an extra 4 inches in the round. Plus, if all of my measurements were wrong, I'd have ended up adding too much under the arms, too much everywhere, like the whole gauge would have just been wrong. So I am glad that I have restarted it. The way in which I'm picking the colours is I have like 2 piles. So like this yarn, we're not touching it. I basically have like a pile here, and what I do is like I crochet 1 line from each colour in a random order and then move them over to the other side of the desk, and then once I've made my way through all of them, then I start going back the other way. So although the colours are in a completely random order, like they're not in a repeat necessarily, I am still making sure that I'm using the same amount of each colour. I don't know why I just thought so weird. All of these balls are like seconds of the same of these colours, if that makes sense. So like I currently have a green in the mix. This is just the second one. So if and then when I get through these ones, that's just what I'll start cracking into. But as of right now, I'm trying to do it like this so that I can get like an more accurate estimation on meterages, because I think this is going to be really faffy to figure out. I think what I'm basically going to do in terms of meterages is work out, because obviously the cuffs etc, all the ribs going to be in one colour, right, which are what these balls are for, and then I have one of them in the mix of like these colours. So I think what I'm going to do is, as I keep going on the body, I think all of the crochet body I'm going to do as one big yarn estimation. So it'll be like, you need DK weight scraps equivalent to however many grams, however many meters in total. You can completely alternate them randomly. I guess I will keep track of it for how, I think I'm using 11 colors, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. No. Okay, no, I'm using 10 colours. So if this is enough to make the whole thing, then I will obviously say if you're using 10 colours, you'll need this much, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, for the most part, I think I'm going to do it in total and then work out in total how much of the single colour you'll need for the ribbed sections and kind of do the estimations like that. Because the idea for this is that you should just be able to use up a load of scraps. Even if you have like fingering weight, you can just hold it double. So I don't really know about giving like exact yarn estimations, and also I just don't even know how I would figure that out. I mean, once I get down to like the underarm on the body, it will be pretty easy to figure out how much yarn I need per like body length, because it's not in the round, but like, do you know, like the equivalent. But obviously there's going to be a different amount for the yokes, the back yoke, the back and front yokes, because obviously the front's going to be in halves plus the neckline shaping, then the under bust like body measurement in the round that's actually not in the round, and then the sleeves in the round. So yeah, I don't know on that one. The other thing is, in terms of the crocheting, I never normally use a ergonomic crochet hook. I normally just use like the metal stick ones, which I'll show you. I've always just used these. Like, I feel like I can get so fast crocheting with these. It's just, I don't know, I guess it's what I learned with, it's what I'm most comfortable. Like a 4mm crochet hook is the sweet spot. But I have been trying to use this because it's funny, I don't get hand cramp in my hands when I crochet, but I think because of the way that I hold it, it presses down like here. Like, I don't even know, exactly between my pinky finger and my hand, and that's where it starts to ache. So I've been trying to use this ergonomic one because I already owned it, and it is a bit better in terms of like, obviously the handle's a bit, I don't know, not like softer, but it's not like metal, is it? It's like kind of some kind of rubber. So I'm trying to use this, but truthfully I don't really know if it makes any difference. I also decided to take out this light pink. I don't have loads of it anyway. I use this in my Maxine Hot Wall cover, but in the swatch I was comparing like this first one to the swatch, and I don't know, I felt like this was getting too light in sections. I quite like about this that it's quite like moody, like the colours are almost a little bit muddy, which is funny because I feel like that's not something that you would usually go for. And obviously this like creamy colour is quite light anyway, and the light blue and this like greyish kind of colour. So I just decided to take the light pink out because I felt like it was just making it, I don't know, it was just standing out a bit too much. Like, I don't mind the white going through it because obviously the cuffs and stuff are going to be in white, so I feel like it'll be more cohesive. But yeah, I just felt like the pink wasn't fitting the colour scheme, and if and when I run out of that, because I didn't have as much of it, I didn't have another wool, so it was just going to be like in the yoke, and I thought it was going to look a bit weird. But yeah, that is it. Today is actually mine and Ryan's anniversary, and we're going to look at flats, which is so exciting. So I'm not sure how much crocheting I'm going to get done today. I am going to just sit here and work on this morning. I'm meeting him just after lunch, and also my pinstripe cardigan is going into test, which is so excited. But I'm just having so much fun with this crochet, honestly. It is quite rigid. I'm hoping that blocking will maybe loosen it up a bit, but anyway, we will chat another time. It's like 7:10 in the morning, so let's go to a boot fair, and I'm wearing my capsule compound cardigan. Such a mouthful. Anyway, let's go.
He's the one who went to... I can just drop
So I actually haven't updated you on this in, I don't even know, like a couple of days, maybe like 5 days. It has been a whirlwind. So me and Ryan have been looking at flats, And then we have actually applied for one now, which is so exciting, but I don't want to jinx it in case we don't get it because it's not set in stone yet. But I haven't been working too much on this project, but I'm kind of at a point now that I feel like is actually interesting enough to show you. So this is the back yoke. As you can see, my attempt at essentially short rows has kind of worked, although this light glare is kind of annoying. So it needs some like cleaning up in terms of like I have some odds and ends, and there are some little like tufts of ends that need cutting off. But this is how the back is looking. You can see we've got the nice slant that is, I feel like, typically a lot more seen in knitwear. But yeah, it was really important to me to try and replicate this kind of like shoulder shaping. So this is the back, and then, although actually I don't actually know which is the right and wrong side, because I don't know, this is how the shoulders are looking. So there's basically short rows in the front and back. So this isn't like a European shoulder where the back is slanted and the fronts are straight. The front and back are both slanted to the same degree. So the shoulder seam sits exactly on the top of the shoulder. But anyway, this is the front. So I have basically done the neckline shaping on either side, and what I'm basically trying to do is exactly mirror the back for the colour stripes, and then obviously when I connect under the arms for the body, obviously that would be the same the whole way around. And then I think I'm going to try and make the sleeves symmetrical. Obviously you wouldn't have to, you can do it completely random, but this is just how I'm deciding to do it. So if I try and show you, this is kind of where I'm at. So you can see I've kind of got this curve happening, and this is like where the short rows are. Just so do you see it kind of gives a really nice like finish. Oh god, that glare is awful. It gives a really nice finish around kind of the shoulders and the neck. And then yeah, this is roughly where it's going to come to. I feel like it's kind of hard right now to judge anything because I've still got a fair bit left to go on the front. So I've got like all of this left to go on the front panels. So on the next row, what I basically need to do is crochet along and then do some extra chains, and then on this side I need to chain and then crochet along to extend basically like the front neck section. I need to work out how thick I want to leave the opening, because obviously this has got to allow for a zip and also like a knitted I don't know what's the best word to call it, like edging or trim or like placket even down either side of the zip. So I need to work out how big the gap's going to be to basically work out how many I'm going to cast on. This was not as faffy as I thought it would be actually, to do all of these kind of short rows, and to do increasing in this pattern actually isn't very difficult. I've just been increasing every other row, I think, for about like 10. So like I did an amount of like flat, and then I've just kind of increased, and then yeah, so it's like really typical of like how I would also construct a drop shoulder in knitwear. I'm just trying to like replicate that in crochet. Yeah, you can kind of see here, like I said, I need to clean it up a bit. It like exactly mirrors, so it's kind of makes it easier when you come to do like the front pickups, because you can really easily tell exactly where you need to be placing your stitches, because this original, so like the original cast on chains in navy, and yeah, you can see exactly where that colour is picked up in the row on the back side. But yeah, this is how it's looking. I'm a little bit concerned I'm going to run out of yarn. I don't think I won't run out of yarn to be able to do the whole piece, but what I'm concerned about is like I don't have doubles of all of these colours, and that's what concerns me, because I feel like once I run out of these two, I don't have any more of these, I don't have any more of these, but I do have like similar kind of shades. I don't really have any more like navy, so I might end up using some of the Let Lopi that I had left over from my boyfriend's jumper, because that's really the only other like navy yarn that I have, and that is all scrap as well. But I'm just gonna try and get as far as I can, and it's also like not exactly the same as these. But I guess that is the good point about this being random, is that like there isn't a color repeat. So if you were to run out of one color and then add in something similar, I really don't think it's gonna notice. But yeah, it is like quite rigid. It definitely has more stretch like this way, which is like actually lengthwise rather than widthwise. So yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna cast on these extra stitches and hopefully make some more good progress. Let's have a catch up. I'm so sorry about this lighting. It has now hit the point of year where things are going to start getting a bit darker in the evenings, which isn't great, but I'm sure we can make it work. So I have been pretty bad at updating this week, I guess, because, well, firstly, I haven't really been doing much in terms of projects, because literally everything is just happening all at once. Like, trying to sign for this flat, and there's just like, it's just been so manic. I feel like I haven't even had a minute to like digest anything. So I've been working loads on this, but I did just connect under the arms. Well, okay, that's a lie. I connected under the arms like maybe yesterday, but I realized that I think I've been crocheting a bit tighter than I did on my gauge swatch, because I've been trapping my ends in. I've been like, I don't know, I think I've been pulling it too tight. And basically this, my like arm depth measurement was like an inch shorter, or like just under an inch shorter than it should have been. So today at work, I actually ended up steam blocking this to try and stretch it, and it did a little bit, but not enough. It literally ended on like 3 or something rounds under the arm anyway. So ripped them out and I crocheted some more, and then like flat, like the back and fronts flat, and then have just reconnected in the round at the end of this sort of like colour repeat. And yeah, this whole thing has now been steam blocked but not wet blocked. It was also coming up a little short, so I have also tried to steam block it, but I also feel like there's only so much that you can do with a steam block. I'm gonna need to really wet block this, and I feel like as well, once the sleeves are on as well, hopefully they'll pull down the weight. So yeah, literally just connected. So I'm gonna go back and forth on the body for a bit longer, and then I think I need to basically look up some reference photos, because normally what I would do for a cardigan is I would finish the body, knit the button band first, and then do the collar at the end. But I'm thinking I might be able to put the collar on soon. I think I'm maybe going to do like the collar and the hem, and then do either side of the zip last, so that it literally just continues like the whole way down, but I'm not entirely sure yet. And then yeah, obviously the sleeves are just going to be picked up and crocheted in the round as well, which will be quite nice. So yeah, this is how it's looking. It is still at this point kind of like reversible. There's not really like a right and wrong side of this fabric, because you turn every row anyway. There's always like there's like right side and wrong sides on each side. But yeah, and I also haven't like been trimming where like the ends have been tufting out, so I don't know, it's definitely feeling a bit drapey now that I've blocked it, which is quite nice. But yeah, I'm also still on my first balls of everything, which is quite good, although I am definitely going to run out of some colours. The other thing is I had my first Knitting for Olive shipment turn up today. So this one actually is for a gift knit. To cut a long story short, I put in an order, Knitting for Olive, on the day that they did the Gaza fundraiser, and this is for a gift knit for my mum, but she doesn't know that I'm getting it or making it. So I ordered this, which is like the something artichoke. It doesn't look very accurate on camera in this lighting, but it's basically like a purple. So I bought the normal merino. I'm gonna hold it double, But then I also later that day, because I sold some of my old yarn, I then end up putting in another order like in the afternoon or something. So that one's come today, and then I've just had a notification to say that the other one's been shipped. So that one's still coming. But yeah, I thought this would be so cute. She has no idea as well. So, but yeah, I'm gonna work some more on this tonight. I've been watching the Summer I Turn Pretty. I really enjoyed the first and second season, but that season 3 I'm not loving as much. I find everyone really insufferable in it, not gonna lie, in this season. But I'm enjoying it. It is, you know, enticing enough to watch. I'm gonna finish it off. And then I think next what I'm gonna watch is, I think 90210 is on Amazon. And I watched it years ago, like when I was like a young teen, and it's never been on any streaming services since. And then I think it popped up on my Amazon the other day, so I'm really hoping that that's going to be available to watch, because I do want to rewatch that. And I'm still reading Royal Assassin. I haven't made much progress this week because I literally like left it at home last night, so I didn't read any at work. But yeah, still making some progress on that. So that's kind of a little update on everything. I'm gonna keep going on this. This is kind of my main project right now, and it is literally eating through yarn, which is great. And then I don't know about when I finish this. I do want to start on my sand sweater, but also I have got some other knit projects that I've just kind of like abandoned, so we will see. But for now, we get going on this. I'm gonna watch some more of the Summer I Turn Pretty because I'm not quite up to date yet. And yeah, hopefully the next time we chat it will not be in this poor lighting, and fingers crossed everything's gonna go smoothly for the flat. We paid a holding fee today, so it's like, but yeah, I'll obviously take you along on that journey. This video I think is going to be going up way closer to when we actually think we're going to be moving out, so I might be moving out in like real time. But as of right now, today is like the 27th of August, so yeah, I'll chat to you soon. Guys, I've been so bad at updating you. I know that to you it's not going to seem like that because this video is filmed back to back, but I have just been forgetting to vlog. I feel like my brain is like so wired right now. We have officially got the flat and could be moving in any point in the next 4 weeks. Bearing in mind, we hadn't even seen it. Like, we viewed it a week ago today, and before that we had literally been looking for like 4 days. So like in the span of like 2 weeks, we've all of a sudden been like, oh, we should look at flats just to like get an idea, maybe we'll like move next year. All of a sudden being like, okay, we're moving out in 4 weeks, we need to go like furniture shopping, we need to sort all this stuff out. And yeah, it has just been absolutely manic. So yesterday I filmed my end of month podcast for August, and then went down, I don't know if I've actually said this on here yet, I have products in 2 shops, which I think I have said, and I've basically removed them from one of them. And so basically I went down yesterday, picked up the stuff from there, took the products to the other shop, did all of that. So completely forgot to take you with me on that front, but I will quickly show you where we're at with this, because I have made some more progress this week and this is still my main whip. So I've just been going under the arm on the body. I think last time I showed you it was maybe like up here, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, this is where I'm at. I'm like halfway through a row on the brown. So I do kind of want this to be a bit cropped, so I need to figure out how long I want the bottom rib to be. But yeah, once obviously I've finished on this, we're just gonna start going on the sleeve. I think, I don't know what I'm tempted to like finish the body and then do like all of the add-on bits, although yeah, I don't know. I need to figure out what zip length I'm gonna get, because that's gonna dictate really like the length of the body. And I think I'll probably block it before I put the zip on, or at least steam block it. So yeah, that would probably be a good idea to figure out what length we're gonna do. Anyway, zips tend to come in like 2-inch increments, so like 26, 28, 30, 32, so it's not like a very hard thing to work around, and you can shorten them if needs be, but I just prefer not to. But yeah, I need to add on like the collar and stuff as well, so that's all going to be knit as of right now. I'm going to see how it looks when it's all put together, but yeah, this is where I am. I'm actually really enjoying this. I just feel like I have been finding it really hard to concentrate, and like I don't know, it's kind of annoying because I feel like I've been finding it really hard to concentrate, but then I also find it really hard to relax and switch off. It's like my brain is constantly ticking and it's just like completely immobilized me essentially. I haven't like been able to get on with anything. Today I'm seeing a friend that I haven't seen in literally like months now, so that's going to be really nice. The weather's still like shit, honestly. It's like so rainy and miserable. But yeah, I think I'm going in about 20 minutes, so probably going to finish up this row because I just left this as it was yesterday or the day before. And then, yeah, probably this evening when I get home, as I'm editing the podcast, I will just be working on this some more. So I will show you if I make any sort of like significant progress, but yeah. Okay, as per usual, we are going to have to deal with this shocking lighting, but I am basically going to stop here on the body because I still want this to be like relatively cropped, so I need to basically swatch to see how much I need to pick up like for the rib. I'm going to do the neck and the bottom, and then I'm going to do the strips down the side all in one go. But this is how it's looking. I feel like it's in a bit of a weird position right now, but this is basically all of the body crochet done. So yeah. I'm hoping that the lighting's not going to be too bad. It's currently 6:30. It is Tuesday, so we are, you know, we're filming after work. This weekend I feel like has been such a write-off. Honestly, I feel like this vlog is like all over the place in my head, so I'm sorry if I keep repeating myself. It's just been so manic with like sorting house stuff and just like other things occupying my brain, like personal life things, not like knitting things, which I will, yeah, kind of hopefully be able to talk about soon. Fingers crossed for as well. But I wanted to update you because I have made a bit of progress, and I honestly can't remember what the last clip was. Was it me trying this on? I'm not sure. So today I literally have just started trying to unwind this yarn. I've literally just started on the bottom rib, so we're really not that far at all. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm going to do this double folded or not yet, and I also realised I probably should have done the neck rib first, because when I know how high I want the collar, then to the nearest 2 inches it would have been easier to do the bottom rib length, in terms of like, obviously like the zips come in 2-inch lengths, so I don't know, I probably should have done the other way around, but I don't actually have a zip yet, so I think I'm just going to make it to however long I think. I feel like this looks really cropped right now, but actually it isn't too bad when it's on, and I am anticipating this rib to be quite thick. I'm not sure yet whether I'm going to do a single like layer of rib or whether I'm going to do it double folded. So basically I'm going to do the bottom, then the collar, then either side of the butter band, and obviously I need to do the sleeves in crochet as well. But yeah, this is how the body's looking right now. It's super colourful. I also today had my second Knitting for Olive order come in, so I thought I'd show you these quickly. So these are the colours that I'm going to be doing the 2-row stripes in. So this is going to be for my pinstripe cardigan. I'm going to do a pinstripe sweater to go with, even though it's like different gauge and stuff, or only ever so slightly, but anyway, these are the 2 colours. So this is Dove Blue and this is Bordeaux, which when I first opened them I was like, oh, I kind of expected the blue to be a bit lighter, but actually I think it'll be absolutely fine when it's 2-row stripes. It's really only going to be like a tiny amount. But yeah, anyway, I think it'll be cute regardless. I'm actually about to make myself a new set of nails. Honestly, when I say this weekend's been a write-off, like yesterday, got in from work, fell asleep for a bit, woke up, just laid in bed, bedroid, watched TikTok. Like Sunday afternoon, literally again, fell asleep, bedroid. I just feel like, although I've not been doing anything like physically strenuous, I just feel like the mental load of everything right now, I've just felt really like meh. So last night I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna give myself the evening to bed rock, why the hell not? Like, all of these deadlines and things that I'm working towards, like, I only impose on myself. So I'm gonna make myself some new nails because I was meant to do that this weekend. This is the current set I've got on. They're a bit grown out now. These are just done with blooming gel, but I actually bought these stickers a little while ago, and I think just for the ease of it, I really love this particular colour. It's like a really deep burgundy. I honestly don't think I have much left. This might be my last set with it, but you can't even really see on the top. Basically, it's like a deep burgundy, and then I'm going to put these stickers on just to try and, I don't know, save a bit of time whilst still looking pretty cute. So yeah, I'm gonna get to making these. I'm also just catching up on some like YouTube and stuff. I've still been watching The Summer I Turned Pretty. I will say season 3, like season 1 was like, oh, so good. Season 2 was like, it was okay, like it was still good. And then season 3 I just feel like has not been as good, but I don't know, it's not been as good. Maybe it's just because I was like binging the first bit and now the pace is slowed. But yeah, I'm still also reading Royal Assassin. I think about like 60% of the way through now. And yeah, that's also really good. I feel like in a way, I think maybe I preferred the first one, but I almost feel like, I don't know, it just feels like, how do I word this, like, because he's like such a young boy in the first one, like there's so much that he's like figuring out, and like this sort of like childish wonder, which obviously now he's like grown into a man. It's like, it's just a bit of a different vibe, but I am really enjoying it. And yeah, basically just continuing to read that. Annoyingly, I'm not listening to the audiobook anymore because Libby like automatically returns things and it's like ages to wait, so I have been just reading it physically. I've been reading it more on my like lunch breaks than I have been working on this, I will say, which is why progress on this is a little bit slower than I would probably normally work on projects. But I'm gonna treat myself to some new nails and yeah, hopefully make some more progress on that crochet thing in the next few days.
Feels like she can trust, as she's obviously very wary about being bartered away to the highest bidder. However, though, some strange things begin to occur when they
to remember it by. Be in the vlog. You look so uninterested. The weather is not good, so this is what we're dealing with lighting wise. I feel like I have made quite a lot of progress since I last updated. I actually can't remember what the last clip was. This vlog has honestly been filmed over like weeks. So obviously I said that we're moving out, which is still happening in like 2 weeks from now. And literally yesterday I got offered a new job, so that was the other big thing that's been happening. So yeah, everything's kind of been like, my normal routine has been out the window completely. However, I have started to make more significant progress on this, and I realized that I hadn't really been updating, so let me show you. This is how it's looking currently. So obviously the collar, the bottom hem, and these pieces that are going to be either side of the zip are all done. So as you can see, they're all knitted. And then I've just literally, as of last night, oh my god, I've just dropped all the yarn. As of last night, I started on the sleeves and I'm working them, I don't know if you can see, at the same time. I'm working them at the same time so that I can use an equal amount of yarn, and then as they run out, they'll just be symmetrical. So yeah, I'm gonna hold this up in front of my face for just a second. But yeah, you can kind of see where the zip is gonna go. Don't really know how it's gonna be best to hold this up, to be honest, but like, you can just imagine the zip's gonna be sewn in to this knitted sort of edge, and then yeah, I don't know, I think it looks really good actually. I am glad that I did this in rib instead of in crochet. I don't know why, I just think it gives it such a nice clean finish. So literally the only things I've got left to do now are the sleeve and then the very few ends that I have to weave in. So it's mainly just the ones where like the ribbon stuff has been added on, and then a couple from the upper yoke where the rows were kind of like too short to trap anything in. But for the most part, every other like row of crochet, I've just been trapping them as I go. In fact, let me slide this on, because I guess you could either, this is a problem because I always wear t-shirts around the house and then they always bunch up in the underarms. Okay, so it does need a block definitely to try and like loosen it up, but you could either zip it all the way up kind of like this, and then the idea is that these are going to meet in the middle with the zip, or you could just fold down the collar and kind of have it open. So this is double folded, but this is just single, and then the cuffs are just going to be single as well. I did this double folded just because I felt like it could do with the structure, especially if it was kind of standing up. Now, I'm not someone that likes to wear high neck things, but this yarn is actually very non-itchy, I find. I mean, I don't know, if you're sensitive, like more sensitive than me, you might find it more uncomfortable, but for me it's fine. And yeah, gonna keep going on the sleeves now, hoping to finish this off this week ideally. But yeah, still on my first balls of yarn of everything. I'll quickly show you that as well. Still I'm on the first balls, although I think after the next 10 repeat, I think that will probably do it for these. But to be honest, it's got me super far. So basically this was 10 different colours in the Hobby Friends, and this is as far as it's gotten me. So it's basically going to do the whole body and like half the sleeves. And then, as I think I've already said in this video, I do have repeats of some of them aren't identical, but considering it's only going to be the lower sleeve, I don't think it's going to notice too much. And the other thing is that I still have this to unravel from the original yoke as well, so I actually should get about 20 more rows into the sleeve, which is basically about half of the sleeve excluding the cuff, so half of the sleeve in terms of the crochet portion. So yeah, just gonna keep going. I feel like now that everything's kind of settled in terms of like, we know that we're definitely moving, we kind of have a date in mind, which is like 2 weeks tomorrow. And also now that I know I've got my job and I've handed my notice and everything, I think in my head I can start to like get back into a routine and stuff. So hoping to make good progress on this tonight. If not, finish it maybe tomorrow. Can you hear that? That is the rain. Yeah, I'm gonna go anyway, but yeah, I'll check back in with you later, I guess. Also these like little eye cords, so cute. Okay, so I'm hoping that I'm gonna get this finished today, so let me quickly show you. I'm going out in a little bit, but should be fine. I have literally just got to do the last cuff and then just sew in the zipper. So I'm gonna sit here and knit on this other cuff. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how this is looking. I am going to wet block the whole thing, even though I have steam blocked it in parts, just because I'm hoping it will, I don't know, loosen it up a little bit, especially sort of like under the arm sections and like the decreases on the arms. So yeah, we're so close. And I'm gonna wear this jumper today as well. It's absolutely peeing it down with rain, so also gonna have a waterproof on, but yeah, that is the plan. I'm not even gonna lie to you right now, my room is such a mess, but I wanted to show you this before I put it in the bath because we're gonna block it. So I've literally just finished sewing in the zipper, which, if I do say so myself, I think I did it really nicely actually. I do wish that the zip was more true to the colour of the yarn that it's against, but there just wasn't really a better option in terms of the plastic zip. And what I am thinking I might do eventually is doing like 2 strips of double knit to sew in on the inside. So like if you want to wear it with, let me zip this back up, if you want to wear it like this, then you won't have like the raw zip exposed. It will have like double knit across here, but I'm not going to do that to begin with because honestly I do want to wet block this today. It's kind of a bit difficult at the minute because obviously where we're going to be moving, but my mum and my stepdad are still having work done on our house, so like all of our hallways and everything are getting replastered. So really, if I don't block it now, it's going to kind of be, I'm going to miss like the last chance that I'll get before we actually move, which is going to be in a couple of weeks. And yeah, I don't know, I think once it's blocked, like sewing in an extra little band of double knit is like not going to be a big deal. But this is what it looks like. I'm honestly so pleased. I feel like this came out kind of exactly how I envisioned it, to be honest. So yeah, I'm super pleased. And I always say like I never wear anything high. This yarn, this Friends wool, is very non-irritating. I mean, I'm not someone that's super sensitive anyway, but there are some things around my neck especially that bother me. But like I said, you can even just kind of wear this down if you wanted to, so it's not like a big deal. I guess, yeah, I'll show you the back so you can see on the shoulders where the short rows are, and it does help keep it level. Let me actually put this up properly. Yeah, it actually does help keep it like level. My jumpers always put at the front because of the girls, but that's absolutely fine. I did run out of some of the yarn colours when going down the sleeves, but I honestly don't even think it notices that much because at least it's symmetrical. So like down here I ran out of this like lilac and I introduced this pink instead, and then like I ran out of this sort of like magenta-y colour and also like this sort of teal kind of colour here, and I only had like a short amount of each left, so I had to kind of like omit them for this portion. And then when I got down nearest the cuff, obviously this is like the smallest circumference, so I was able to literally get them in right before the cuff. So I am going to wet block. I have steam blocked this in parts, but I just think it will help smooth it all out, and also because you can kind of see tufts here and there where the yarn ends, I've like caught them. So I'm hoping that if I wet block it, it will kind of help, like, I guess almost felt the yarn together. So when I cut these off, hopefully they'll just be a little bit more secure on the inside. And also just like, for example, around where the cuffs are, where it goes to knit, there's like an ever so slight cinch. So I'm hoping if I block it, it will just become a little bit more continuous and uniform. When I was sewing in the zip as well, I was really cautious. So I did the first side, and then this is actually something that I do when I do zip replacements at work. So I'm an alterations and repairs seamstress for a week and a half, and then I'm going on to another job. But anyway, I basically, what I'll always do, say like with coats, if it's like a puffer coat where you have like the lines of the puffer coming across, I will put in one side, then put the zipper back up together even though the other side of the zip isn't attached, and then you can kind of mark on the other side of the zip where certain lines are. So for the most part, these continue across super well. It's especially important for places where, like here, where the collar and the hem, like the bottom rib meet, so that it does look very uniform. But yeah, I basically went down row by row and was making sure that for the most part these all kind of met up in the middle, so it just looks continuous, because I thought it would have looked a bit like, I don't know, it just gives it a much nicer finish than if this was all kind of like disjointed. So yeah, the other thing is I'm hoping as well that by blocking it, this top edge is going to kind of flatten out a little bit. Like I said, I have steam blocked it at work, but it's not, steam blocking is just never going to be as effective as like a wet block. But I don't know, I just think this is such a cool piece. Like, it's definitely a bit more out of my comfort zone, I would say. Like, I probably wouldn't buy something like this, but I've pretty much used up that entire bag of individual balls of yarn, so I am pleased that they're kind of gone out of stash. And I just think this is quite a good stash buster, because you could really use anything smaller than a DK and just hold it double, like some of these. So when I ran out of brown, I'm trying to think where it was. Okay, so this is the last row of the DK weight brown, and then the brown from here on out, I just held 2 strands of a brown sock yarn together to make up a DK weight, and you like literally can't even tell the difference. So if you have like random odds and ends from like pairs of socks, you can totally include it. I used pretty much 10 colours. I did obviously, when I got down to the bottom, introduce a few other random colours. For example, like the pink had to replace the purple because I was completely out of the purple. And yeah, there's like, it's a 10 colour repeat. When it gets down to the bottom, I think I had about 6 colours that I had like second balls of, and then everything else was just kind of, I had to do a little bit more kind of like as I went, and kind of picked things as I went. But honestly, I just don't even think it notices because it's such a random scrappy thing. And like, if you had more than 10 colours, like if you just had like odds and ends of things, you could use as many colours as you want. You don't have to use a specific colour scheme. It could be all over random. Or likewise, you could also use less. Like if you had like 2 balls from this project and 3 balls left from that project, or like a ball and a half or something, it just, yeah, pretty much uses up almost every single scrap. And it's also not as rigid as I thought. I was worried it was going to be like super rigid. I think steam blocking it has definitely helped. And also I think now that the sleeves are done, and it kind of pulls on the weight of the body, which I think massively helps the drape up here, because when I only had a little bit of the sleeves, I was really concerned about this underarm area. It was like, I don't know, it was just standing so strangely. But now that obviously all the sleeves are done, it just like kind of hangs on the body perfectly. The sleeves are also like pretty long as of right now, which is ideal because I don't know, I love sleeves like this. But I don't think it's going to grow drastically because of the nature of it being crochet, but I just think it will help loosen it up, make it a bit more uniform, and obviously, like I said, try and like, I don't know, the toothiness of like the ends, I'm hoping it's gonna, I don't know, catch them in a bit better, be less likely for them to like unravel or anything, so I can confidently just go through and like, here for example, just like snip this off. So we are going to put this in the bath, and while this is in the bath, I am going to clean up my bedroom a bit because honestly there's just like crap everywhere. And then yeah, put this out to block, and then she will be done. So that's so exciting. So, moment of truth. Let me angle this down a smidge. I'm hoping, yeah, okay, I think I am all in shot. So this is washed and blocked. So obviously I did sew the zip in before I washed and blocked it. I think in hindsight I should have sewn the zip in afterwards, which I kind of already knew, but it was just because I think that this did want to grow a little bit in length. Like only a smidge, like not even an inch, maybe like half an inch or so, but obviously it can't because this won't budge, obviously, because this is like solid. So when I should say I get around to writing the pattern for this, I will put instructions in to add the zip afterwards. But yeah, for the most part it turned out well. I think I did say in the previous clip I do want to add a band of knitting like under the other side of the zip so you can't see it from the inside. I also haven't completely gone round and like trimmed all the little kind of tufts and things because I'm literally about to start packing up my room because we're moving house. So it's not really at the top of my priority list right now, but obviously I did want to finish off. The sleeves definitely grew a bit in length as well. I knew that they were already kind of like a little bit on the long side when I crocheted them, but I do just think it makes for like something quite cozy. And obviously I've only got my jogging bottoms on, but like you could really wear this with like anything. And yeah, this is from the back. I don't know as well whether I would fold, like always do this as a double fold, or whether this would have been better as just like a single layer of rib. If the zip bothers me enough that I decide to change it, I might potentially take out the knitted sides, and if I was to do that I would unfold the neck, make this a single layer, and then put a new zip back in. But I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. It's more so for the colour difference than for anything else. I think this might look really nice with a zip with metal teeth, just because I feel like the white is maybe a little bit stark against the colour that I did the ribbing in. But overall, I am super happy with this. I think this is such a fun like stash buster project, and I think that because all the rib is in like a solid colour, I think it looks kind of more cohesive through the whole piece. I don't know, maybe that's just in my opinion. But yeah, as this is completely done, I'm going to say thank you so much for watching. This is the end of the video. Obviously, if you want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe, and keep an eye out on my Instagram for when a testicle for this will come. It will maybe not be straight away, truthfully, because like I said, we're moving and I'm starting a new job and stuff, so I just don't know that I'm going to have the time exactly to dedicate to like smoothing this out and doing a testicle and everything, because I do currently have 2 other patterns in test. But yeah, thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end, and I will hopefully catch you in the next one. Bye.